Hello everyone, this will be the review of game Animallica, and the key for the game was provided by developer. And in this particular case, I actually for the first time personally asked for the key for the game because I was so much interested in it. First problem that we have is with graphics. The game has two different sets of graphic options. One is in the start when you are not yet in the game, and the other is here, and they are like separate. I mean, I set the resolution to less than this. I set it to this one. Wait, I'm gonna show you to this one, and it is in this resolution. However, here it's showing different resolution, and this should be just one thing. Either you do it on the start or you do it here, because it's like I don't know what resolution I have. Is it this resolution? Which it isn't, because I am in window mode. It's smaller than this and it's showing this, which is very crazy. I don't know what I have set. The other problem is that the game doesn't run well in terms of graphics. It seems to take a lot of RAM, and I had to go down with the graphics completely. I turned off pretty much almost everything aside from anti-aliasing. I limited FPS and graphics is potato, so the lowest possible. I will maybe, I'm not gonna touch it. We'll see if it's gonna actually grow to this resolution, which is full screen, or is it going to stay in the previous one. And I'm starting in this place because I wanted to show you how long it loads. Also, it has very long loading times. Right, so let's go to my place. And yeah, while it loads, I'm gonna tell you a few things. So this is the genre of games that I'm actually very much interested in, but the problem is that I tried many games of this type. I mean survival, crafting, building, digging, terraforming. The biggest problem with those games is that they don't have all the pieces in one game. And the other problem is that most of those games are in early access. And it turns to this situation where if you want to have a full experience, you have to buy more than one game to have all the pieces together. I mean, they're not together in one game, in any game, really. So to have the full experience, you need to buy different games, all of them being in early access, and all of them being usually like a medium price. They're not very expensive, but they're not also very cheap. So I'm gonna give you a few examples. Let's say you want to do a really nice terraforming. Okay, so you buy Planet Explorers. It has voxel terraforming, very nicely done, but it doesn't have other things that you like. It has less graphics than this one. It doesn't really have nice digging like in, let's say, Starbound. You cannot really make you cannot tame animals, for instance. The combat is bad, the graphics are bad, the game is very much abandonware, but it has this very nice voxel digging. And now let's say that you want to just dig down. Then you buy a game like Starbound, and you can dig down as much as you want. It's very nicely done. It's 2D, I know, but again, it's in this group of games, right? Some of them are 3D, some of them are 2D, some of them are Minecraft-like, some of them are not. So I will enumerate a couple of games. Let's say Niflheim, Signs of Life, Terraria, Starbound, and Dig or Die. Okay, 5 games, all 2D, all have elements of this one, and all of them lack some elements. For instance, Dig or Die has physics, but it's generally dumbed down. Terraria is extremely ugly. Starbound has very nice base building and a lot of biomes, but it's also pixel art. It doesn't have such a nice character and big and easy to see what you actually do, what you actually build, as in, let's say, Science of Life, where you have bigger character. Now, all those games, both 2D and 3D, have problems with inventory management. All of them have it done badly, in my opinion, because it's basically you have to hold stuff to base and then stash it in containers and then use it, and you always have too much of it, and you always have this loop of moving resources between containers, and no game so far did it right. Now, when we move to 3D games, I'm just gonna pause it and finish what I have to say maybe. It's not gonna load yet, because I wanted to show how long it loads. So, okay, Fallout 4, very good base building, however, only in specific spots. So you can only build in specific places, you can build everywhere, but it has very nicely done base building. I'm just gonna maybe, no, maybe not stop, because you see, it's gonna load again. It pretends to load, then it loads again, and then it's probably gonna load, and then we stop. Other games, let's say, yeah, Planet Explorers, voxel digging, very nice. What else I tried? Forest. It has horde mode, it has building freely, sort of, but it's mostly horde mode against the cannibals and building with wood and stone, so not very intricate building, and not much aside from that, really. Now this game, Animallica, what does it have? It has a lot of crafting stations. It has the whole taming system, which is nice, but really at this point it serves no other purpose than just to do it for the sake of doing it. It doesn't have digging. It does have getting resources from nodes, let's say, kinda like Don't Starve. It also has survival, which, for instance, in Fallout is optional. You can even have survival in Skyrim, but again, in Fallout and Skyrim you have limited building, even more limited in Skyrim than in Fallout. Here you can build houses and crafting stations, but you can't really build freely. Kinda, I would call them blocks, but I'm thinking of Fallout, Fallout 4. It kinda have a block-like building, you could say, like in Minecraft or Portal Knights, but it's very nicely done. You just stick pieces together and can build enormous fortresses and very intricate buildings, however you want, but it's a limited space. This game, again, doesn't have much variety in combat, which Fallout has, but on the other hand, it has very nice graphics. So the problem is that all those games do not have this one experience that you want to have from all of them. I will say it once more. We have survival elements, we have collecting of materials element, then we have digging and terraforming, which is very rare. I think you can kinda a little bit terraform in No Man's Sky if you blow the ground with grenades, but aside from that, those 3D games usually don't have it. However, Planet Explorers have it. So again, some parts are there, some parts are not. Fallout has character upgrades and skill system. This game doesn't really. It has very few upgrades only. On the other hand, Animallica has a lot of crafting stations, which some games have less of. So the problem, aside from the fact that it loads as long as you have seen, and the graphics well, need you to go really down with your settings if you want to have any smooth gameplay, is that this game shares the problem of the entire genre, and not even one genre, because we can divide it into different subgenres. Like you can call survival games separate section, 2D games again separate, 2D games with digging but not survival is again separate thing. Some are just RPGs with a little bit of crafting, and they have or don't have survival. What I would like to see is to connect everything in one game, because right now you basically have to buy a whole bunch of games, and all of them will scratch only a small itch that you have, a small part of what you want to have. It will do it probably well, because usually every game does something well, but it doesn't do other things. So all of those games share the same problem, being half-baked in early alpha and not having all the elements of this game that it should have, that what it should be really. Now I'm gonna show you the gameplay and mostly just crafting, because I want to show you how deep it is if you want to actually buy this game, because it is deep in terms of crafting. And then I'm gonna show you one of the biomes, because this is again the strength of this game. It has many biomes. I could actually compare it to Starbound, because just like in Starbound you have planets with different biomes, Here you have just areas, so you travel between areas. They are quite big, although they are quite empty at the same time. But there is many of them. There's already like, I don't know, 15 or so, and there is probably supposed to be like 30. Okay, so let's see how it looks. Guys, this is the lowest settings, so you can go. I'm just gonna check if it's recording properly. Yes, it is. Okay, so this is how it looks on lowest settings. You can go higher than that. So I'm gonna just show you roughly how it looks. Those are, to a large extent, those are built by me. Those are all crafting stations here. This elevator was already here. There is also a bunker right there, and there is this shed that was also already there. But all those things inside are built by me. So I'm gonna show you a couple of areas here. Where maybe we start with the bunker. I'm gonna show you the interior. It just loads on its own, and there's the bunker. So I generally cleared this place out of resources. That's how it looks. It runs properly, but remember, this is very low settings graphically. I basically switched off everything, and this is how the game should work on every setting, right? So it should be smooth no matter how you set it. Yeah, I guess I didn't take those. We can collect resources like this. Some of them spawn, or also one big problem with this review is that I won't be able to enumerate every changes that I would like to put to the game. However, there is two parts of that. There is part that should be added to game, for instance more biomes which are not yet implemented, and another thing is a whole group of things that should be changed. There is already a forum entry with lots and lots of pages. Now it's kinda lagged a bit. So people are already giving ideas what should be changed in the game, what should be added to the game and changed to the game. That's not the same thing. Some stuff is just expanding what we have, and another thing is adding. For instance, we do not have, as far as I know, we do not have any skill or upgrade system right now, but it might be added, like completely added as a new thing. And things that could be expanded is, for instance, the new biomes, right, or new animals. But expanding on what we have is not gonna change the core of the game, the core gameplay loop, which in my opinion is a bit faulty, but we're gonna get to it later. So it's gonna fix some stuff, but it's not gonna fix what the game is. But if we add new mechanics or new ideas or new systems, then it might be a better game, because I think this game deserves to be better. I like it, generally speaking. I was very much interested in it. I wanted to play it, and I kinda enjoy playing it already, even though it has one big problem. The game doesn't really have a goal, or in other words, it doesn't have quests, it doesn't have campaign, and the theoretical goal is to tame animals and put them in, like, around your base, I guess, in some enclosed spaces, something like I don't know the name now in English, but it's the garden with animals, zoo. I think it's zoo, just like that. It's where you keep wild animals in confinement. But you can, I guess, also build enclosed space with just fences, right? So you could do that, but it doesn't serve any purpose aside from the fact that it would maybe look nice. So there is no goal in the game. That's the problem. Once you build and check everything, which is very interesting. I actually played the game 10 hours before I made this review. So I wanted to test it a little more, I mean much more than I usually test it. For instance, you build this and you check. Yeah, you can build all those things. You can build like some gardening stuff in this place, and decorative plants and hedges basically. And you could put them out and make a nice place. It would look nice, but it won't serve any purpose. But it's there, right? So you want to build it, you want to see what it does, and once you do, you're like, okay, one thing is there, I have it, I can build it. Maybe you can even, you know, craft a couple of hedges and put them around so your place will look nice, and then you're done with it, right? So you go further, and you go to, let's say, basic workshop. So you say, okay, I need those things. I need, let's say, maybe we collapse and I start from the top. So we can say, okay, we need some arrows. We already have a bow, or rather a crossbow, which is rather slight mistake. Actually, it should be bolts, because this is for crossbow. So crossbow uses normally bolts, not arrows, and arrows should go for, I think, either the bow or the composite bow, which, as far as I know, only uses tranquilizer arrows. So the compound bow is to actually capture animals or kill mutants. A bow would probably also use arrows, I think, but at the same time, crossbow also uses arrows, even though it should be using bolts, not arrows, but whatever. And then we have a variety of weapons. Now, there is already a problem. Generally speaking, you need ranged weapon and melee weapon, and many of them are just weak. See, there is 2 damage, 5 damage, 11 damage, and then you just make those, which are both tools and weapons. I mean, this is hammer. This is used for breaking elements of like stuff that you build. You can break it and put it elsewhere. So you need one of those. You also need, you don't really need a mace or machete or survive sword or any of those, because you actually need only like shaver and gold digger, which also do 12 damage, more than all of those. So those are all basically useless. You just need those 2. You just need an axe and a pickaxe to mine and kill people with just melee weapon, and maybe the hammer if you want to remove stuff. So you need those 3, and actually you use only one of those. You also can use this as a weapon to poke people. So you either use the strongest weapon or a tool, any of them, because they are the same, or you use crossbow if you have arrows, which I'm slowly running out. Then you have tools. So, okay, see, I just made tools. I didn't make weapons, I made tools, because they actually do more damage. So after you have, like, those 3, you need nothing else. Everything else is just weaker. Materials, of course, you need some timber and other stuff for crafting, containers. This is important. This is the common problem in all those games. A common problem. You always have problems with materials, you always have problem with inventory management. This is your entire inventory. It looks big, but it's not big. And then you have to haul all the items, put them into containers, and have heaps and heaps of stuff. So a large part of the gaming loop will be hauling all items into separate containers to have some sort of order and not the complete chaos. And then you have to, again, take stuff out of those, bring it here, craft another thing. Let's say you want to have this, right? So you need a stick, animal fat, cloth, and metal scraps. Now we have to go out of here, collect all those 4 things from containers, and you have to kind of remember where is what. Of course, those are at least different. So you can, let's say, keep sticks in wood, and you can keep animal fat in, let's say, animals, right, or something else, or maybe maybe as food, right? You can treat it as food, even though it's not. A cloth could be like what's there? Textiles, right? So you can build all those and try to make order, but it's a lot of micromanaging of inventory. Some people would say it's good and it's the key part of the game, which it might be. On the other hand, after a few hours, it gets very tiring, because you have to constantly haul items from one big box to another big box. But it's the usual problem in all those games. So it's not like this game is doing it wrong or worse than other game. It's just the common problem of the genre. The whole. I would personally just go for a system from Gothic. Why? You know, this isn't really realistic if you can have so much stuff in inventory. Like one slot here can hold a building, so you can have 7 times 10. You can have 70 buildings in your pockets. So if you can carry 70 buildings on your back, it's not realistic. You can just have unlimited space and have much less micromanagement with inventory. But some people would argue that this is part of the fun, the part of the game to micromanage it. So, well, it's a disputable problem. To me personally, I would prefer to have unlimited space because it's just gonna let you focus on exploration and building and not on micromanaging inventory, which is like a very meticulous mini game that some people might enjoy and another group of people will find it annoying. Now, important thing, all stuff on your bar stays when you die, all stuff drops where you die. So it's best to keep important stuff. This is my setup. I generally keep arrows of two types, one for taming animals and other for combat. I keep my tools and yeah, of course the bow separately and the crossbow separately, the strongest weapon and one piece of food, one piece of water. Buildings, I don't know what's the point of them, because first of all they cost a lot of resources. Now if you build stuff like this, I don't know if you can enter it and put furniture inside, but you don't really need them because they don't serve any purpose. It's not like you build a guardhouse and it's gonna protect you. It's not like you can put NPC there. It's just for visual. So yeah, you can theoretically build a whole town, but there is no point to it aside from visual. This is a problem that I have with it. However, it's nice that it's there. If you want to build a town of your own, you can. That's nice. Structures probably serve to, I don't know. I don't know what's the point of one. Why is there only one? Maybe if you want to put your entire town on a big layer of platforms. If the ground is like, I don't know, it's not flat, maybe that's the point. I don't know why it's just one structure here. I would prefer to have very free building out of small parts, so you could make intricate constructions. This is what the game lacks. I would just copy it from Fallout 4 because so far it's done the best. You can just glue together the different pieces and make really awesome structures. So if you wanna do any sort of free building, just take it from Fallout. Fences, yeah, again, I don't see much point because you don't get attacked by any waves like in forest, so you don't really need those. So it's again visual stuff or to confine animals, maybe. Again, if you have animals confined in a place, it doesn't serve any purpose aside from visual. So you could, like, I don't know, have 4 cows in a fenced square area, but you can't even milk them. So I don't know, maybe you can, but I don't think so. So far, I don't know what you can milk. I know there is milk in the game. I don't think you can milk cows. I don't think they also need food or water. If they do, they will probably die because you wouldn't be able to keep giving all your animals food without any automatization. And if they don't, then well, they can just stay forever, either in the biome or in your base. But again, it doesn't serve any purpose. Enrichment. And this is just yeah, this is mostly feeding stuff for animals. If you want to make those this kind of zoo of your own. Now you can use this for fast travel. However, I have no idea how you make rusty sword, and I think you should be told how and where you get specific items, because if it's completely guessing game, it's a problem. For instance, I have no idea how you make a rusty sword. I didn't see it in blacksmiths. I just have no idea. So to me, I can't make it, and that's it. Without using Wiki, I just have no way of knowing. I can buy it from merchants, I can craft it, maybe I can, but I don't know how. It would be nice to have it explained, but of course some people will say that yes, finding out on your own is part of the fun. I personally prefer to know where stuff is. I would like to know what biomes have what resources and stuff like that, or have it like marked on map that would be slowly appearing before your eyes while you explore, right? And then you can see what biome holds what. It would be nice if you would have to explore it on your own, but then you would know. Right now you don't know. So let's say I do not have a white dye. I never saw white dye, so at this point I cannot make a flag. Craft stations, many of those. Actually, many of those. There is like those 2 are different. Maybe even 3 are different. Then you have also kitchen, so it's 4 to make food. Then you have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Those are mostly visual and art stations, so it's like 9 plus water pumps. So there is like over 10 completely different crafting stations, and all of them have tons of stuff to make. Like I'm only showing you now one of them. I'm only showing you this is pathways if you want to make roads, and the cost of course stuff, and shelters. This is if you want to sleep, you can sleep in hovel or large tent. Again, I have problems with, let's say, hard skin. I don't know how you make it, where you get it. Animal store, of course, this is for animals. I don't really use it yet because I don't really tame any animals. I just tamed one dog and I lost it somewhere. I'm gonna just check the time because it's gonna be, yeah, it's gonna be a long video, but whatever, it's gonna be a longer video. I know it. So I think I covered a small amount of problems. Now I like how it looks. I like how those crafting stations look. You can even go like inside and look what's there. It's just all visual, but it looks nice. This is a box where I hold items, tons of items inside of various kinds. I'm gonna show you a few more. Also, I'm hungry, so I have to eat. Let's say we eat a can and we drink some water. That's how you eat and drink, basically. Then I usually switch the weapon to not eat without purpose. So tons of items. I'm trying to make some sort of peace here. I usually dump some stuff in those containers, or I dump it here, and then I try to keep some order. So let's say I put some plants here, mostly, and some other things like colored vials. Here I keep mostly my materials for building, all kinds of those. Then I have a campfire where I can make some food if I need to. Here I keep food in food storage. Also a cow. I didn't yet fix it, so it's just waiting. A cow or any animal you find or want to tame, it's just an item when you pick it up. Drinks, not many actually, only 5. I keep this water. I think it's used for something else, so I just drink the other one. And it's quite realistic because you drink water, then you are left with empty plastic bottle, then you have to refill it. So it's very nicely done. I really like how the crafting works and how much stuff there is. There's really a lot of stuff. The only problem is that it's a little bit imbalanced in terms of what type of items is in many numbers and what type of items is in small numbers. For instance, you have very few types of armor and weapon, but you have tons of materials, tons of types of food, which is, well, it's nice there, but you don't really need all these. You just need anything. You just need one food, and that's all you do because you just eat it and it heals you. But I would prefer to have, let's say, different builds in terms of different types of armor, giving me some, I don't know, passive abilities, active abilities, maybe more encumbrance, less encumbrance, more pocket space. Instead, you just have basic gear and upgraded gear with more defense, and not much of it. You just buy better one if you can. Here I keep mostly metals and ingots. This is another, of course, dumping place. That's what I was talking about with the problem with items. See, I have 2 of these full, not only building materials but also other stuff, because it's just very hard to keep track what's where, so I'm just sometimes dumping stuff and then trying to sort it. As I said, it's a very big mini game to keep any sort of order. Now this is another crafting station. I'm gonna show you maybe the blacksmith. So basically it's tools. Also, you don't know how much better is what. Like this tool does 12 damage, this tool does also 12 damage. I don't know what's the difference. Attack speed, does it mean it hits faster or what? Does it do more damage? I know, no idea. I just have completely no idea how you compare those. What is steel pickaxe compared to gold digger? What's the difference? Just this one is faster maybe, and damage means that this is actually doing more damage. No idea. Hard to compare them. Of course, ingots, you need ingots. By the way, there's a mistake. Bronze is not an ore. Bronze is an alloy. It comes from tin and copper. There is no tin. However, there is aluminium, which comes not from ore. It comes from cans, actually, which is quite funny. But realistic, yes, you can actually smelt cans into aluminium. Yeah, you can do it. So other stuff, you can make nails, bolts, and some parts of other buildings. So for instance, if you want stonemason, you first need chisel. So there's a sequence which you have to come up on your own, what to build when. I might be making a small guide for this game, but probably in Polish, because I have Polish and English channel. So I keep this as a review and like first impressions, maybe not really first impressions because I played for 10 hours. So a review, and I might also make a small guide in Polish. I don't think there is much information in Polish, so I might just do slightly something. This is armor, as you can see, it just goes into higher, so from pants to hardened pants and so on. This is 10 defense, this is 4 defense, no other differences. That's the whole armor we have at this point. This is, I guess, a weaving station. Yeah, that's weaving hut. So you make cloth, rope, thread, and rags. And I think this is most of it. I'm gonna also show laboratory. Maybe we already have one. Still, no idea what you do with this. You can't really plant. As far as I know, you cannot plant plants. I don't know if you can do any sort of gardening anyhow. If so, I have no idea how you do it. So I'm not gonna tell you because I don't know. And this is the laboratory. Basically, you just have a station where you make all kinds of animals. Mostly, I think it's just animals. So let's say you make Bengal tiger or Caspian or Maltese tiger, tons of them, really. But of course, you need the particular animal, also taming potions and cure potions, which you have to craft. And let's see if you can craft them here. No. Well, to be honest, I have no idea where you craft the potions. So for now, I'm gonna just skip it. I don't think I know. Maybe you craft them here. I'm not sure. Yes, chemistry table. Yes, here you make potions or kits. Of course, they cost a lot of stuff, so you don't want to say be willing to part with all those pieces, but you might if you want to. And then you can, using cure and taming potions, you can make your own animals. And the game says you can have up to 5 animals follow you, but I never wanted them to die, so I just played on my own. But you can have a group of animals following you, or just staying in various biomes. Now I'm gonna show you a small part of gaming loop. I'm just gonna sleep and we go to another area and we'll have to finish there. So I think we'll then talk a bit about my feelings towards the game as a whole. Right now I was talking about some stuff that concerns me, sort of. I forgot where I was sleeping. I was sleeping in bed, yes. So let's just sleep to, I don't know, let's just maybe sleep, I don't know how many hours really. Let's sleep for 4 hours. Hopefully it's enough. It has quick save, the game, so that's nice. I will eat, because you have to eat before you go to sleep. This is realistic. I know why I cannot eat now. What happened? Wait, guys. This is weird. I don't know what happened now. Yeah, I can eat like this, but I couldn't use my hand to eat, which is weird. Let's switch to spear. And what hour is it? I have no idea. 5. Okay, let's go 3 hours. So it's 8. No, I don't know what happened with the... Maybe it's a bug. Let's check again. I should be able to eat it by clicking, but I don't. What about water? No, it doesn't work, so it's broken. Maybe something changed, but before... Yeah, now it works. Maybe it's lagging badly. Maybe it's just... Yeah, it was lagging badly. So that's what happened. Maybe because the time of the day changed. Probably that's why. Okay, so now we have morning. Again, sorry for the graphics, but I just wanted to have smooth gameplay. You will have to check another review of somebody who has a much better computer. It would be nice if that was fixed. The game actually looks very pretty, I must say. Even on lowest, completely lowest setting, it looks very, very beautiful. So the world is beautiful. This is definitely a positive side. I like the amount of crafting and building, even though, as I said at the very beginning, this doesn't really cover all you want to have. Now I'm gonna show you those confinement spaces for animals. There's actually work in progress right there, and I'm gonna tell you about one more thing in a moment. So you can have like a space like this with a gate, right? There's a gate, see? There's a gate. So we can put animals there and keep them there, but there is no point. Now, I had an idea. Maybe they're gonna do it, I don't know. I had an idea that would be like, you should have something called the arc. Let's say, if you go there, you have a big pyramid, right? Or some sort of underground bunker, or a spaceship, or whatever. And you would need to put all those animals there, let's say, just like Noah's Ark, two of each specimen, and that would slowly give you points. So every pair of animals would give you points, and then you would be able to upgrade your character. That would give you a motivation to collect all those animals and to keep them there in this sort of arc. Then it would make sense. Now you can tame animals, use them for combat, or just keep them in places like this, or you can make their own enclosed area, but it serves actually absolutely no purpose aside from just visual being there. So you can do it for the sake of it, but the game is not gonna track it in any way. It's not gonna like tell you, oh, you rescued 4 animals. No, it's not gonna do it completely. To be honest, I don't even want to take them out of biomes and put them in some place. I'm gonna show you one biome which I kinda know a bit. So we'll move there. Again, I'm gonna show you the loading. Now it's, I guess, saving. See, there is cows. There is cows in this biome. So I could take the cows out of the biome and keep them enclosed in my personal zoo, but it wouldn't give me anything. I wouldn't have cheese, I wouldn't have milk, I wouldn't be able to breed them, I wouldn't be able to upgrade my character in any way. There is at this point no skills, no development system, no experience points, nothing. So at this stage, the game is a very big sandbox without any goal, which is kind of like Subnautica when it was in very early access. Just a nice, pretty world, quite big, even very big, with ability to build freely. It's there, and some crafting. Actually, this has probably more crafting than Subnautica. And the ability to also move the animals around the world, but there is no goal, no quest, no upgrade, no feeling of progress. The only progress you have is gear based, which is done in crafting stations. So once you have all the crafting stations and all the resources to make your gear, well, yeah, gear, I guess, then that's it. Everything else is just a visual. So it's a very, very beautiful, very large, pretty sandbox, but it's not really a game with any set goal. You would have to set a goal on your own. It actually does even have achievements, so you can even play for achievements at this point. This is what I did before. I just put those boxes here because I wanted to look into this area, and it was just dumping stuff here, and whatever I found I just dumped it here. I made some sort of temporary base here, and a lot of stuff respawns. I would also like to know what respawns and how it respawns, because the game doesn't tell you. As far as I know, a lot of stuff simply respawns every time you load an area, so you can just keep farming some stuff, and the other stuff is only one time, like stuff in containers, I think. But as I say, the game doesn't tell you. The game completely doesn't tell you how you farm what. So you know, it's hard to say. You can like take a tree. I would like to sleep, but I have no place. Wait, let's see if we can make a very basic place to sleep. Time passed while we traveled, so we would need plant fibers, sticks, and rope. Well, I won't probably be finding any rope here, and specifically I won't be finding any hard skin, so we are screwed. What the time? 7. It should be soon the daylight, so let's just move. Okay, so first of all I'm gonna save, quick save. Let's try to show you the gaming loop for a few minutes. I know it's gonna be a very long video, but that's just what I decided to do, a long presentation of a game and a review, because that's what I wanted to do in this particular case. The game deserves very nice full review, which some people already did, but I wanted to just add my basically my thinking about the game. Also give it a review, which I'm doing right now, and not in English but probably in Polish. I will give a small amount of basic guide. I'm planning to do it, at least. I think it's already covered in English. There is a few people who do very nice guides and like first steps in English, so there is no point. But in Polish there is very few materials. I haven't found almost anything right now at the moment of making it. I was looking for reviews and guides, but I found nothing. So this is how you do it. This is how you get basic resources. You cut trees and pickaxe the stone, and then you have all kinds of stuff like logs and like ore and stones, and of course then you use it to craft stuff. Yeah, the graphics are awesome, as I have to say. Even on basic level it looks really nice. The problem is with optimization. It works, I would say, okay. It doesn't work like Skyrim. It's more laggy. Even Fallout works better, and so that would need to be fixed, or else you would just need a very good PC to run the game. But it's really pretty, so if you can afford it, if you have a nice gear and it actually works. I cannot test it because I don't have a very expensive PC to test it, whether or not it does work on the high settings. Hopefully it does. It already looks nice, so you know, you can just play on potato like I do. And it's gonna be probably prettier than most games of the genre, but it can lag for you. So just be aware what kind of computer you have, and if you have something, you know, not very strong, if you already have problems with other games, then this game might give you a problem as well. So we can take some more from this. I don't want to really run to combat. By the way, combat, I don't like the combat. Combat is very annoying because enemies tend to clip into you and just keep hacking at you in a very strange way. It's generally a combat of your HP versus your weapon damage and the enemy. You just try to kill one at a time. You can't really fight more in any sensible way. You just lure one at a time and then try to kill them. Also, there is a very small amount of weaponry and armor. By the way, I don't have any better armor than just basic one, so I would have to craft it. Of course, I don't have resources, even though I played for 10 hours, because I have no idea how you do it. I could make leather armor, but I don't have varnish. I have no idea how you get varnish, so without knowing, without checking wiki, I just have no idea. It would be nice if you could just see in every crafting station what you need and where it comes from. Like, if I need varnish, where does it come from? Do I have any sort of chemistry lab and can make it there? Do I have to find it, farm it, craft it? I have no idea. So this blocks the progress, the lack of knowledge. But maybe it's on purpose, so I'm not gonna completely diss it. Some might say that it's part of the game to learn on your own. Well, I didn't, so I have to play with crappy armor. No way to fix it at this point. The weapons, yeah, I have slightly better ones than the basic ones. You start with a knife, which I already have better stuff. So yeah, so you basically run around and collect. Also, a problem here is that a very large part of the biomes is just nothing. Like, all we find here is plants, trees and stones, and sometimes there is something lying on the ground, and that's it. There's very few points of interest with anything there. Of course, there are some places, there are some hidden treasures underwater, there are some chests in the world, there are some buildings here and there, but oh my god. Okay, I'm not gonna fight them. See, this is the combat. You run out, you run into a group of enemies, and they're gonna just rush you like crazy. So if you run into 2 or 3 enemies, you basically have to bail out, because you have no way of killing them. You don't have any area of effect weapons, no grenades or anything like it. You can buy shotgun, but it's expensive, so I didn't do it yet. There's also some merchants in the game, but they don't sell all this stuff. They don't sell really important stuff. Yeah, we made it into this place. Yeah, it looks really pretty. We lost them. See, so you can lose the enemies and then you can just run here. Let's say this isn't really anything you can collect. So we can go, let's see here.
Yeah.
You can collect some more berries and other stuff. Maybe some plant fiber to make hedges or other stuff. Some of it will respawn, some of it won't. So here we have eggs, for instance. I don't know why only apples rot. Right now, only apples rot. The other food just stays. Those should be. It should be possible to enter every building. That's why I didn't make any, because you know, if you can make a building like this and it's closed, then there is no point. And I didn't make any building because so far I didn't have this many materials lying around. All my efforts went into making crafting stations. So you know, it would be nice to build a house like this, but it would be nice if you could actually live there, or if you could make an NPC live there. If you just put it there for the sake of it, you know, it's visually nice, but it doesn't have any purpose. That's the problem with the game. It doesn't, much of it doesn't serve any purpose. Okay, I'm gonna try to tranquilize this dog. I don't know if I will be able to actually do it, because I know how many arrows it's gonna take. So let's try to do it. Yeah. So now you pick it up. It says loot, but you actually pick it up. And now we have a dog. And if we give him, I guess if it's infected, it needs, yeah, it always needs cure and taming. So if we give it cure and taming potions, we'll be able to have this dog for ourselves. However, if you try to do it with a cow, we'll probably fail because you have to hit twice. And of course, upgrading the bow is possible, but it would only make sense if you could one-hit the cow. If it's still two hits, it makes no sense. And of course, I don't have the materials, right? Now I cannot shoot for unknown reason. I think my mouse escaped the screen or something. Okay, let's do it one again. Okay, my mouse is now at the center. Okay, now it works. And of course I missed. How am I supposed to do it? It is also acting quite slowly. Yeah, we need 2 shots for the cow. Yes. So you see, we can take another cow. We'll have 2 because I already have 1 in the base. But as I said before, there is no point of having them aside from just, you know, visually. I'm even feeling bad about taking them out of this environment and just keeping them elsewhere. I could probably have cows follow me around, but I don't think they would attack anyone. They would probably just be slaughtered. Okay, guys. So my final words. Maybe I will just, I don't know. Maybe I should go to menu or something. I'm just gonna save it here. Let's call it Greenland biome. There's many biomes, by the way. Biome. So biomes like this, there is like 15 or so. I'm not sure entirely, but I think there is like 9 plus some more, so maybe 14, maybe 15. There should be like 5 more, and I think they told something about 30. So if you want to just build in free area, treat it like sandbox with, well, mostly crafting, building, and at some point you will just probably stop. I actually stopped at this point almost, because aside from the fact that I could collect the animals and build for the sake of it, I don't see much space for development. I miss like 2 crafting stations. I could upgrade armor and maybe get the shotgun, but then that would be it. And I don't see much point in playing further before they add anything that gives me any feeling of completion, or any story or purpose or upgrades. Anything that you could just feel that you are progressing, because yes, you are progressing in terms of having more crafting stations and generally making your environment pretty, but it doesn't really go into game mechanics. You will just end up having, well, a base with tons of resources, but nothing really to spend them on. You could make, I don't know, 20 houses, but they will just stand there and nothing will come out of it, you know. You're not really doing any quests or helping any society or repopulating any biome. Well, I could, let's say, take those cows to another biome and probably just leave them there, but it would serve nothing. It's not really, you know, changing the planet in any way or terraforming it or giving any achievement, nothing. So the game lacks purpose. There's no quest. There is fewer NPCs, so you know the game started as you are the only survivor. Now you have NPCs running around and merchants. Still no quests. The game is in early access for quite a while, I think. I like it, even though it's not what I want entirely. Like none of those games is, but it's really pretty. And if you just want to build and just sandbox for a while and do all the crafting and some surviving, which is actually quite easy because once you have 100 bottles of water and tons of food, which by the way I think it respawns, it's not really a problem. You just eat and drink from time to time. You don't even have to sleep, really. You can just you know, heal yourself with food or make bandages. The resources are plentiful, I think. Some are hard to find, so I would like some sort of map, some sort of guide, anything that would give me at least a hint what's where, because right now I have no idea where I should go to get what. I don't know where is this varnish, how you get hardened skin, I don't know what else, where exactly I find titanium dust. Yeah, I could just, you know, go from biome to biome and keep hacking at every stone, which I was doing for 10 hours. I enjoy how it works, even though it's slightly laggy, even more than slightly, really. The positive sides maybe. It's big world. It looks really nice, like Skyrim or something like that. Really nice. It has a lot of graphic options, but the problem is you need a very good computer for that. Mine is barely able to play on low, and I can play Dark Souls 3 and games like Nioh. So you know, it's not a bad computer, but this game is just very heavy on your PC. I like the gaming loop because collecting resources and building and crafting is nice. It's one of those very key elements to the entire genre. I would prefer to have also complete free building with parts. I would like to have digging and terraforming. I would like to have character progression. I would like to have quests. I would like to have campaign. Something connected with the animals. Like let's say every animal you find would add to the genetic base, and that would in turn give you some sort of skill points or anything. But there will be completely new mechanic. I don't know where the game will go. I will definitely observe it. I will keep it in my library. I'll probably keep it installed and check from time to time. But I don't know where the game is going. If it's going to more new mechanics and feeling of purpose and completion, that would be awesome. That would be really, really good game. At this point, it's a very pretty sandbox. It's gonna keep you occupied until you unlock all the crafting, and you can of course build as much as you want, but mostly just, you know, fences and houses just to have them. You know, they don't serve anything, they don't give any sense, they just exist and look nice. And by the way, some places already look nice, so I don't know, this house like here is okay. There's another one right where you start, so I don't see the point of building 2 more houses just in the middle of the field, just for the sake of it. It doesn't also have this feeling of exploration which Fallout has, where basically every place in the world was interesting and filled with tons and tons of items that you could use and well, craft with. It's theoretically similar, but not really. Of course, it doesn't have the depth. It doesn't have all the weapons, all the changing of weapons, NPCs, economy. It has a little bit of economy, but again, you can buy even old stuff. For instance, I was struggling with roof tiles and I couldn't buy them. I had to actually make a building to make them, and to make a building, I had to know. I even had to know where to find a specific item. It was a skinning knife, It was in this biome, by the way. So I couldn't make tannery if I didn't know where it is. I couldn't buy it from merchant. I couldn't craft it, so I had to find it. Maybe you can craft it, but I have no idea where. So it would be nice if the game was slightly more friendly towards players, like telling you where stuff is, or just make it a series of quests, or just tell you or allow everything to be crafted in basic stations, because you can get stuck. You can really get stuck with just not having something. I was for a long time even stuck with basic stuff, with like basic warehouse and many stations. I was able to eventually do it, but it was trial and error and a lot of research on the internet. So how much I would give to the game? 7 out of 10 right now. It's a positive review. I like the game. I enjoyed playing it. But at this point I am like, I would say I'm 80 to 90% done. I would like it to develop and give me all those things to do, so I could just grind towards something, not just grind towards having a heap of resources in base and nothing to do with them. Also, looking for materials completely blindly and without a map is, well, I don't like it personally. I would like to know what's where. At least maybe some sort of in-game wiki you could check and just know and learn what comes from where, what is made from which pieces. That would be nice, because right now you have to go to crafting stations. I think Forest made it properly. So if you want to improve your game, you should just actually copy. You should copy all the elements from all the games, both 3D and 2D, which had those elements done right. And if you want to improve on that, you can, but I'm not asking for it. I'm actually asking to implement as many mechanics and elements that worked in other games already into your game, because all of those elements are going to make the game much better and are going to bring more audience to your game, because every time something isn't in your game, some group of people will just abandon it. If someone wants, for instance, skills and character progression and there is 0, they won't play it, right? If someone likes to dig down, if they want to dig into the surface and they cannot do it completely, they won't play it. Because some people want survival, some people want combat, some people want just sandbox with building, and some people want to dig, and some people want to do the quests. So the more elements you put in your game, the better it is. And pretty much every game in the genre or genres that I talked about is lacking something, and almost all of them are early access. So this is a big problem for all the games on Steam and generally games in this area, because almost always, I don't know any game that connects everything. Maybe a modded Fallout or Skyrim, but I don't think so. I don't think there is actually a mod for Fallout or Skyrim where you can just terraform freely the environment. So probably it doesn't exist. So at this point I will leave 7 out of 10 and a big hope the game is going to, well, improve by adding more stuff that people would like to see in there, but not just adding to what you have, not just adding 5 new biomes, even if you fill them to the brim like the first area. Even if you add points of interest and rare items, it wouldn't still change the core of the game. If you want to improve the gameplay and change the core of the game into better tier of a game, you would need to basically add elements that worked in other games. And my idea is to just add elements, any elements from any game, either 2D or 3D, that is sharing anything with this game. So any sort of crafting, digging, survival, building, sandboxing, voxel, pixel, box, doesn't matter how it's done, doesn't matter how it's based. If you can implement it here, it will be a better game. If not, well, it will be lackluster for some people. Some people would like it for what it is, because it does have very nice elements. Even the crafting stations look nice, and the world look nice, and the explorations fun because it looks good and you want to look for stuff, even though there is not that much to look for aside from just rare materials that you need, but you have to blindly look for them. but you could make it way better, but not just by expanding what you have, but by adding new mechanics and new stuff. So that'll be it from me. Very long review. I hope I showed you the gameplay loop, and told you what it is and what I would like to see. And I will most likely add a small guide in Polish. If you want to also some sort of translation help, I can do it, and you just have to tell me what you need. I don't know if it's gonna be in Polish or not. I can beta test it for you, or even help with translation, and definitely check for bugs. And if the game is gonna get any new patch, I'm probably gonna go back to it and check what's there. I would like to also hear from you what you think. Do you agree? Are you gonna do some of those things? Maybe is it planned, is not planned, and that'll be it. So I'm gonna stop here. I'll leave you with the review and my impressions and my ideas about making the game better, because definitely it's worth working on. It's a very nice project. I like it. I'm satisfied. And yeah, I will probably make a small guide in Polish. Just a few basic things. Not a full playthrough, of course, but probably a couple of episodes just to show Polish players how you start, how to get started, because I don't think it's there. Also, I would recommend you to look for some YouTubers in Poland. I can also give you some names if you want. Just contact me. And you know, just ask them for a review and make a small shout out for the game, because it is worth it. Very interesting game, very interesting project. I hope it grows, I hope it gets better. So that'll be it. I'll see you guys in the next review, as soon as I can actually close OBS. So see you guys in the next review.